Now
Okay.
it's recording.
Can you just position it? Just see.
Yeah, you got a better view. Can you see?
Yeah, it was fine a second ago.
Okay. There.
Look good.
So for the third state, what will be the reward values? So these are basically called minimax values. Okay, so when we have zero-sum games for two players, we just have a single value. So whatever it is, we will call it as minimax value. When we have non-zero-sum games with two or more players, we will have something called minimax vectors. So these will be called minimax vectors. Okay. So we can also denote what is the optimal action or strategy. Here it's the first action. Here it's the first action again. And here, which is the best move for B? Second. And the minimax vector is -1. Right? Now once we have minimax vectors at this level, we can easily get minimax vectors at this level.
Wait, what do the tuples represent again?
Which one?
The tuples at the very bottom level. What is one?
Those are the terminal states. They denote the rewards for each player.
Yeah.
So if
Okay.
through various moves we reach the first terminal state, player A will get one reward and player B will get one reward.
Okay.
So if we somehow reach this state, then B has the choice of making a move and B will make a move which will go to this reward vector, right? Because B has a choice between getting a reward 1 or getting a reward 0.
Oh, so this isn't mini. This isn't minimization. This is just B is taking its higher value.
Yeah, B will always look for its own benefit,
Okay.
and A will look for its own benefit. That's the case even here. Here B is looking for its own benefit by what is its benefit? Negative of this. So it's basically looking for the or max of the negative of this. So what is the minimax vector here? A has to make the move. He has the choice between 1, -1 and -1. So let's try it. Okay. Read out. So the second question is on alpha beta. Okay. First, let us go through what is alpha beta pruning, and then we'll see why it is applicable or not in this case. Okay. So, what is alpha beta pruning here? Okay. So basically, here we have considered all possible cases, right? We have seen these two and decided the minimax value for this, these two and then decided this, and so on. Ultimately, our goal is just to find out what this is, right? In order to do that, we did a full research. Now the question is, do we need to do this full tree search or not? Can we avoid exploring some of these parts, and still find the correct value here? So it turns out we can, and that technique is called alpha beta pruning. Okay? Here what we do is that first we'll explore these two, and we figure out that here the best is -1. Okay. Now we tell the parent that okay, I found a way to get -1 reward. So whenever we are exploring the next set of actions, which is A2, I will pass down -1. Okay. So while exploring this part, I will tell that look for values, which are better than -1. So once it goes here, it sees that there is a possibility of 2. So fine, I have found something better than -1. I have to keep looking. Maybe I'll find something better than 2. Or okay. Here basically the situation is that this will always try to choose the minimum of something, right? Minimum of whatever are the possible rewards at terminal nodes, right? So we know that when we saw this 2, we know that either the reward at this stage will be 2 or less. Okay? So we still have a chance of finding something between -1 and 2, right? Okay? So we explore this node and we see that this has -2. So B will actually choose action leading to -2, in which case, we'll find out that that was not useful, and here the best option still stays as the one leading to -1. Okay, in this case actually we had to go through all the way here to figure out that it's actually useful, not useful. Now let us say we had another move here, okay, which will lead to a terminal state of anything, I don't know, -3, 3, whatever, right? Or 2, anything. It could be some k. Alright? As soon as we see -2, we don't need to explore this action at all. Why? Because I know that I already have an option of -1 with me through another branch, and here the best I could do is less than or equal to -2, right? So I don't need to care about anything here. If it's better than -2, I'll still take -2. If it's less than -2, I'll take whatever that is -3. Anyway, this will lose against this -1 option which the parent has, right? Is it clear? So now I am saying that basically there are 3 actions possible for this node. Okay, we can make one of the 3 moves. I am saying that after seeing what happens with this move, I don't need to care about what are all the remaining moves, either this move or maybe it has some other moves. I don't need to care about any of them, because after seeing this node I figure out that the best I can do with this node is -2. Okay, and it is already worse than whatever the best I know for this guy, which is my ultimate objective. What is the best for A? Okay. So I can ignore, I can stop the search after seeing -2. Basically I can stop the search whenever I find anything less than this way. So pruning this way is called alpha beta pruning. Okay. So same thing here actually. Let us say this was not there. In our original tree, if we proceed further, we see that this parent will say that find me something better than -1. And this guy will explore this terminal node and says that, I found something which is, oh, this is 3. Something which is 3. If this was -3, then this need not be explored, right? Is it clear? So basically, in summary, whenever we know one way of achieving a value k, we will only care about those paths which, we will only look for those paths which will, which can get us something greater than k. If at any point we decide that, the best this guy can get is something less than or equal to k, we can move on to the next child, right? So that way of ignoring some nodes or pruning some nodes is called alpha beta pruning.
So you basically end up pruning away parts of the tree that could do more harm to you than good.
Yeah, so that are guaranteed to do more harm to me. So I need not look at them.
But is it like for getting the value at that -2, I need to explore all the nodes?
No,
That
so we don't know when we get something less than -1, or if at all we get or not.
But that to find out that we have
Yeah, we need
till
to
that,
we need to explore as long as we find something less than this.
If it is not less than that, then we will not push into the tree so that we can skip that part. Is it like
Yeah, we will continue to explore. We won't skip it. Whenever we find something less than -1, then we don't have to explore further, because we will make sure that I get to that minimum value or something less than that. I see -2, I know that the max I can get through this node is less than or equal to -2, because B will always try to get me the minimum out of whatever is possible. So whatever the next things are, if it's less than, it will go down further. If it's not less than, it will still be, -2, which is already less than my best possible.
So if it is -2, then I won't be pushing this node to the queue so that further expansion will happen.
Yeah, basically I won't generate this node at all. So here DFS goes like one child by child instead of putting all the children. So if you have seen the textbook also, they will give a recursion based number. So this will call a function on each one of these. Only after this function is evaluated, this function calling will be decided. After evaluating this function, if you decide to just terminate, then these will never be seen. Okay. So the question here is basically, is alpha beta pruning possible in non-zero sum case? Okay, to basically answer that question, we need to slightly understand what is happening here. Are we really doing bin at all? Right? What are we doing? We will always do max of whatever that player's utility function is, right? So we always do max. So this one does max of UA from all these actions. So if we assume this corresponds to UA and this one keeps doing max of UB. Right? So while doing so, what did we do here? We have discarded one node because we knew that max of UB, you know, cannot be greater than 2, right? So here the minimax value is basically max of UB, and which is max of UB here is -2, 2 and some k, right? And the one which is passed on, which is 1. Okay. So we are told basically that, I'll try not to do this. This is maybe even more confusing. So let us just reason on this.
So, does the 0, -2, and the -1, 3 get pruned? Because in the first tree we had a 1 that we could get for A. So then we go to the second tree, we take the first one, it's -1, that's already less than 1. So then we don't even need to check 0, -2. Then we go back up and we go to the third branch and we see that the first one is...
So, yeah, that's an interesting point. So, why don't we need to check 0, -2? Because B will try to maximize its own this thing, right? Its own values. So, so here we find 1, 1. Then this is 1, 1. And this will pass down saying that, you know, find me something better than 1. Okay. And here we see that it is -1 after exploring this part. Then it's clearly bad than this one. Okay. So how do we decide when to stop here? What does B do? B has to look for maximum possible UB, right?
I thought it picks the minimum of UA.
Yeah, that's the difference I was trying to point out here. Here, the situation is that UB is minus UA. U is utility, okay? So, how does basically UB gets maximized? By picking the minimum UB.
Oh, and that's not
Right?
the same for
That's
this.
not the same for this case.
Okay.
You know, here for all we know, I may have 0, 100.
And then B would
Right?
pick that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
So B has to basically look through all its possible moves to see which is the max for it. Value of A doesn't influence its decision at all. And you know, although I update the best value of A to pass up saying that what is the best possible value that A can get, it's just bookkeeping. All my decisions are basically the main thing which I do, you know, what is the final A which goes up through this node is dependent on this one.
Why can't you do alpha beta pruning, but then just switch which value you're looking at, like A value and B value, like on each level?
Not really. Suppose you can try to get a switching for this scenario. When will you decide to switch? When can you say that I don't need to see anymore? You know?
Well, when it's B's move, like only look at maximizing B, and then when it's A's move.
Yeah, that's what. How will you get max of a set of numbers? By looking at the entire set.
Yeah.
Right? You have to look at the entire set. Otherwise, the one which you haven't looked at may be the max value.
Oh yeah, but if you find a number that's lower than the max you've already found, then you can prune it.
No.
Right?
No. So that's why we need to be clear that here B's objective is not to pull down A. That's the case in zero-sum games. B's objective in general is to maximize itself. I don't care about it, whether he is getting down or going up. I don't care. I only care about my utility. In this case, it so happens that if I pull down A, I will get better. Here it's not the case. Maybe the best way is something for both to succeed. That's exactly the example which they built up, right? Which is 1-1. It's not about A going down or B going down. It's about both winning. It is almost like cooperative game.
So how do you prune with beta then if you have to check the whole set for the max?
So it's just not possible.
Oh, it's not
That's
possible.
the question. That's
Oh.
the
Question
question.
is-
Why
I thought
is
it said why
possible?
it was possible. Okay.
No, just give the
I
answer
need,
and
I need to
just
read
say.
better.
And the question was briefly explain why it isn't possible in the
Oh.
general case.
Got it.
Isn't it also not possible because a small loss on your end might prove to bring you a greater win in the end?
We don't know that.
You don't know that?
Yeah, we have no other information apart from these values. Right?
Just like the row you're looking
Yeah,
at.
the ultimate, the terminal node values. That's the only utility information we have. How they are decided, do I have a hint about, if this is 1, this can be at most 3 or things like that. How these values are influenced, no guarantees are given. For all we know, it could be anything. So at each stage, each player has to look for what is the max. It doesn't have any information to stop looking at some point. Each player has to decide what is max, so he has to look all actions.
I see the no now. Yeah. That's-
So next question is, under what assumption about player 2 should player 1 use minimax search rather than expected max search?
What is it, expect max search? Is that what this is?
I think I have scrolled down too much. Yeah. Just get there. So this is an interesting question. Right. So in this case, we are guaranteed that whatever is this minimax value, that is the worst possible for A. It can only get better. If B does something else, then it can only actually improve. Right? That is guaranteed because we have seen the entire tree and made sure that, you know, when I play this move, this is the worst I could get. Right? This strategy will ensure that I will go to this move, which is, sorry, this is, why did I put -1? So this is the minimax value. So I know that basically whenever I play this optimal strategy here, you know, the worst I can do is if B doesn't play at his best or her best, then I may actually end up with something better than that. So that part is guaranteed in zero-sum games, right? Because we have already seen everything below here, and this one captures the worst of all. And likewise, all these three nodes capture the worst possible values for max. Right? These guys are basically minimizing, taking the least values for max. And then I have taken the best out of it. So once I play 3, you know, the worst B can do is 3. If B does anything else, this will only improve. Right? So is it the case for non-zero sum games as well or not? So here we have seen that we got 1, 1. Can it ever fall below 0? You know?
Yeah, well, because you
Even when I make the move this. Yes. That's the tricky part. So if for some reason B chooses to play this, and basically this falls down to -2. Interesting, right? So basically B has to play at its best to ensure that whatever we try to do with max utility for A. The nearly zero-sum case in which this guarantees are given. The sum of these two is less than or equal to epsilon at all terminal points. So in this case, pruning is possible. So they are already giving the hint that pruning is possible. Now they are asking us to draw an X in each node in this game tree, in these 4 trees. Which could be proved, or even in these terminal states, by using a generalization of alpha beta. So remember why we couldn't do alpha beta pruning here? Because we wanted to get max of this node, and there is no way of getting max unless I browse through everything, right? Unless I see through all possible actions, because we have no additional information. Here we have some additional information saying that, you know, the utility of A plus utility of B is less than or equal to some epsilon. So what does this tell us?
So if the value of UB is less than 2 of each thing added together, then
Yeah.
then don't go farther, right? or go farther.
So, yeah, let us work it out. We'll know exactly what is happening. I have to see this and I have to see this to determine what is the vector here. Fine. And I'll go back. And this one tells me that find me something better than 1. And I'll see this. At least one node I have to see to get some value here. Now I know that it's -1 is the best possible. Now,
Is the one above the polygon UA plus UB? Or is it just UA? Or is it just UB?
so this is UA, this is UB.
But the one above the middle, you wrote a 1
This
there?
is just UA.
That's the one from, yeah,
Oh, okay.
to compare it to, right?
Okay.
So, what can we say about the best we can get from here for this when we see -1, 2 here? That's what we need, right? We need to be able to say something about this without looking at it as soon as we see this. That's when we can decide that we don't need to see it, you know. This will already be worse than something. Okay, let us see. So after seeing -1, we know that we may get something between -1 and 1, right? Is that the case? Sorry. After seeing 2, so basically we are looking for something better than 2, right? So what does something better than 2 mean? Let us say it is 3. Okay. So what will be the best reward with respect to A then, if it is 3? That will be -3 minus epsilon, right?
What is 3
Right.
again?
So here basically we know that we got a value 2. We are trying to maximize this value,
Okay.
right? That's what B is trying to do here. It doesn't care about what is A. When we are trying to maximize this value and we have seen this, now I am basically looking for things better, more than 2. That's why I am continuing the search. Now I am thinking about what would getting more than 2 mean when we have this condition. So getting more than 2 means here actually pushing down A's reward, right?